App of the evening.
And here we have it. The pick's already coming out. There is no Glass. There is no Montaigne. There is a Blackbeard. Not really much variation on this lineup other than that. I guess you could say the Thermite instead of Hibana. Now that's kind of interesting. What I would have liked to see from our from our matchup earlier, Ominous versus Onslaught, is a Thermite instead of a Hibana. So I really like this pick here because it's going to give them a lot more options, I think. It's just going to take away a little bit of that fragging potential, but not much, as we've talked about before. Thermite's gun, very much more viable now after his recent buff. But yeah, this is an older attack setup, which is interesting because we're talking about a younger team. And then on the defensive side, we've got a newer defense setup with the addition of Mira, of course. And we're talking about an older team, so it's kind of contrast working here.
I would like to say that we are starting downstairs, which is typically unheard of on this map in particular.
It's happened a couple times, but as you said, it is very rare that a team picks downstairs first. I'm guessing they're trying to throw off Most Wanted rather, and trying to give them something to think about here. Maybe the Thermite pick was exclusively for taking Armory. Maybe they want Hibana when they're going downstairs.
Yep.
We'll wait and see.
Now I do like what they're doing up here. They're putting a lot of people up here. I want to say 3 or 4. Sorry, Zilchi dropped, so it's a 3 and 2. Split here.
A lot of utility, a lot of players upstairs, and I think that's the right call. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It is better to have control of upstairs as long as you can, and they do have that drop down open, which means as soon as one of them, or as soon as they start getting pressured heavily, they're able to just simply drop back into the site. And yes, that does leave the attackers with an open drop. However, that drop is easily held, and if you can waste enough time, it doesn't matter if they can open up the floor above you, because they won't have time to move into the site at that point. They've been wasted.
Agreed. And you can see Most Wanted pushing in here into the break room and into the CCTV room. Now, they will have to get their way. They're most likely going to push their way in through offices, or at least 2 of them, while the others you try to push in from the west balcony. But they know they need to get control of that top floor.
Yeah, definitely. And you see Pojo Man and Esley having a staring contest, even though Esley doesn't know about it.
Just give it a couple love taps to the window here as the wall doesn't get opened up, gets destroyed by Mint, who's there bandit tricking the wall at the moment.
A flashbang instead of a Thermite, which is kind of interesting, just blinded Thermite, but they got it open in the end, so that's all right. Half of the round gone at this point, so good time wasted by Mint. He also got rid of the second Thermite charge, so there's not much Thermite's going to be able to do from that point. Not that it will really matter in this instance.
Yeah, and I think what's good to call out here is you do have Castle inside of the office, or inside of the middle office, who's basically keeping an eye out for that rush so Mint can stay behind the half wall. He doesn't need to peek. He knows he doesn't need to. He's basically covering the side push from the archives.
Yeah, and it's interesting the way that Most Wanted is handling this. They're attacking this as if this is a Season 3 armory hold, and they're only just now getting in, and they're getting picked off as they do, as you can see.
And it's kind of weird Blackbeard would expose himself to that because they droned Mint out. They knew he was behind the half wall.
Yeah.
But as we can see here, a 5-on-3 at the moment. Still 1/3 of the round left to go. My man's going to move on forward. Gets the pick on the Pojo. Moves on over and gets hot and cold. But will be down by Mint and finished off. That's Mint's second kill of the round. You still have Wormy up here against Mint on a 1-on-1. And what is going to happen now? Mint is tucked around and behind the lockers. He's going to peek on out and get a triple kill. Third kill of the round here onto Gurmy. Now Fox is trying to contest it. That's going to allow Mint to get focus on downstairs. He drops through the hatch, returns back to base, and it's a 3-on-2. This is a very good defensive round here for FlipSid. Now Fox is going to gas this out, open up the wall, or open up the castle barricade, but Mint's already here. He's looking to get his 4th kill on Fox as he rushes on in the next 3-4 seconds. However, he's going to go around to the window now, decide, okay, maybe I should pop in through here. Moves on forward, but through the left side, he's going to rush around and easy peasy with the revolver kill onto Fox. This is what he's known for, ladies and gentlemen.
Easy peasy, as Bloodbath stated, is kind of known for being the revolver god. I wonder if he's going to play Montaigne.
I'd say all you really have to do is just search on the web for Rainbow Six revolver god, and he'll pop up.
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, that was an excellent defense from FlipSid. Definitely more refined. Most Wanted, clearly, they were anticipating an armory hold, and they took it as if they took the site as if it were armory. I say took the site. They got nowhere near the site. They took the map as if it were armory, and it would have worked had they not died to the roamers. But It's clear to me that they're kind of working off something a little bit older. You know, it's not necessarily bad the way they're handling this at Most Wanted. It's just that it's just a little dated. It's similar to what we saw during Season 3. Now, I want to talk about also, who was it? It was my man. An excellent debut from him. This is his first Pro League match. He got a nice double kill, even though his team didn't win the round. That was a nice snap. So clearly he has a lot of potential to go into this match and change the outcome.
Definitely, and I think it's worth noting that with FlipSide's defense on the previous round, what you saw was they took away the vertical gameplay from Most Wanted, and they forced them to play horizontally on this map. And horizontal gameplay on this map seems to favor the defenders the majority of the time.
Very much so. But it was kind of an odd way for it. Also, you have to take into account that Most Wanted handle that in an odd way.
Agreed.
Their pushes were just a little weird. I think they'll probably get it more refined down going, and once they start to feel out, it seems like the sort of team that they just need to feel out FlipSide and get a handle on themselves. And I feel like they will get that in this matchup.
All right, so all their Valk cams are placed outside, which again is going to provide some very useful intel for Most Wanted.
We've seen before from CTM that getting aggressive on border, peeking outside, can work very well in your favor. Those cameras are probably going to help them with that. Now, it looks like FlipSide, now this is kind of interesting. They're taking this, again, both of these teams are taking in an older fashion. They're taking CCTV. They're opening up that A wall, or at least that's what they're setting themselves up to do here. And that's, you know, again, that's a pretty dated take. What we saw from Ominous and Onslaught earlier today, I feel like is the I guess the newer, quote unquote, the way to handle this particular bomb site. It has been seen before, but it just seemed to be working a little bit better than forcing yourself into the A bomb site.
Yep, and here you can see Zilchi playing that vertical game, trying to get the thinking nade from below, but it looks like he's going to get out of place at the moment. The man's going to rush on out. He hurts himself drastically with that C4, but is able to pick up the kill into easy peasy. That is going to be the IQ down. Pulse's direct counter. He's going to come back inside and get Zilchi, who moves on in from ventilation room.
My man.
My man getting another double kill. Nade's going to pick off Mint. This is not looking good for FlipSide Castle. That's hot and cold. Going to pick up that kill into Nade now. So with that, my man turning it into favor here for Most Wanted on round number 2. Hot and cold's going to pre-fire that wall. Gas grenade's going to get thrown out by Gurmy. It's going to stop a little bit of a push, but there's still plenty of time for FlipSide to make a move here. But that is not going to fare well for Hot and Cold. Fox is going to pick up that kill as Pojo Man. Last man alive is going to go for one kill. Cannot land the one on the Fox. You're going to see him rush on in. Last gas grenade is going to be tossed out here in a moment. Pojo Man goes in, and there's going to be that SMG-11 kill to finish off Pojo.
So again, a fantastic debut from a man. He's doing some excellent work for them. He's doing some excellent work for Most Wanted on that roam game. He did damage himself a little bit with that C4, but he ended up winning the round for his team, so it didn't really matter. It looks like both of these teams are heavily favoring defense. Now, Most Wanted did go Armory first rather than Ventilation, so on their next defense, they will be forced to pick Ventilation, or maybe, as you recommended earlier, maybe they're going to go Tellers. Maybe they're going to try something different. Maybe they're going to go
security or supply, yeah. We are going to see top 4, though, it looks like.
Yeah, well, that's from FlipSide, yeah. But Most Wanted, they could bring something totally new on their second defense based upon the fact that they didn't go Ventilation first, similar to FlipSide. But who knows? And now, moreover, looking at FlipSide now, on their second defense, they won their first in Ventilation. Are they going to be able to continue that trend, or does Most Wanted have, is their take, what they were doing, their old-style take from CCTV to A-Wall, is that going to work in their favor here? Are they going to do that again? And, okay, first of all, it doesn't look like they are. Either they picked Thermite for an upstairs take, or honestly, I'm not sure what's going on here. They picked a Hibana rather than bring a Thermite again. Now, even if they expected them to FlipSide to defend Ventilation first, why bring a Thermite in that case when you're going to be taking in a similar way? So the only way I could see this making any sense, the roster change, or the lineup change for Most Wanted, the only way I can make this make sense to me is if they're now going to be attacking offices rather than trying to get their way in through the A wall again. And I think that's the right call. They did, if they do in fact do that. They did try A wall and it didn't work out for them well with Thermite. So I think changing it up like this is going to be good for them. Now, it's worth noting that we have not seen Glaz or Montaigne from either of these teams yet.
Yeah, and I think that might be the right call for these, for at least Most Wanted. Their playstyle doesn't necessarily seem to fit that, especially knowing that you're going up against FlipSid, and FlipSid doesn't like to make those aggressive peaks. You don't see them peaking that well, so
No,
you're not going to especially see that Glaz be overly effective.
Historically, they've been very good with their static play and just waiting for the enemy team. And I think that's why one of the reasons why we saw that first defensive rounds be so heavily in their favor.
Agreed. So now it does look like Most Wanted is going to push in towards the west balcony here. You can see Hibana opening up the bottom of the wall there. It looks as though underneath, though, Hot and Cold is going to take quite a bit of damage. I want to say that was from an Ash charge by Fox. She is underneath of there. That's going to force Hot and Cold to get on out. The wall does get opened up. That's going to be enough, although I don't think it's going to be enough.
That might be a little too high.
I think it's too high. There it is. It is too high.
If they might be able to vault the corner.
I think,
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too risky though to say, to be honest. That was a really a poor Hibana charge there, unfortunately. And this is really indicative of the bringing the thermite. You know, you don't have to force yourself into a Hibana pick. Maybe you play better with Hibana, but your team needs a hole that you can go through.
And here is Fox getting the first kill of the round. That's taking out the smoke.
That's a huge player off the board.
Agreed, agreed. And you've also got Zilchi, who's been injured quite a lot down. He's down to about 10 health now in the middle of offices as he tries to peek out onto Blackbeard. Pojo Man's going to pick up that kill into Nade, though, out inside of the offices. He was trying to come around and put a little bit of pressure from Office side, making them think they might go for an Archives push.
This Most Wanted take is a little all over the place, not very compartmentalized. It's just kind of, we'll go here and try to get a pick, and I'll go there, and you try to get a pick, and maybe hold the flank, and it just seems a little, again, it's all over the place. And I think it's pretty much down to the fact that they didn't actually get the wall open, so they can't go in to the A site. And now they're trying to adjust their take entirely by moving to other avenues and trying to, looks like, force their way through offices, but they have Jaeger to deal with them.
Yeah, and Pojo hears Hibana hitting the barbed wire right on the other side of the wall. Gurmy and Maman are both going to move in forward. Looks like Maman's going to drone out or flashbang first, but he gets his teammate. And will we see Pojo here going up against Gurmy head-to-head inside of the offices? Maman's going to turn the corner. Gurmy first. He'll go down, and it looks like he'll get another kill. A double headshot, but he'll get down in the process, and Easy Peasy might be able to pick him up. But with 13 seconds, he will stay down. Maman and Esley are going to come around. A double kill from Esley to turn the win around and make it Most Wanted, taking his top 4 site.
Okay, I actually genuinely thought, based upon what I was seeing, that FlipSid just won that round. But no, Most Wanted, they applied the pressure where it was needed, and in the end, just Blackbeard just walked into the site. It looked like the defensive team turned away from him and just completely ignored where he was playing, and as such, he was allowed to just come up and sweep up the last defenders. But it was a really valiant effort by Pojo Man, getting those 2 kills on the players coming in through offices. And it was also a valiant effort by the FlipSid as a whole. They were down to the last 10 seconds there. Like, that was almost their round. All they had to do was stay alive, and it was theirs. And it just didn't happen. Most Wanted just got aggressive all at once and kind of collapsed on the FlipSid defense.
Yeah, I think that was a very good call, whoever made it on Most Wanted, to just try and push in for Office.
Yeah.
Because if Blackbeard was silent, if you will, if he made it seem like he was pushing around with the rest of his team, I think that's what allowed him to push in to the west side, into the bomb site, without being detected.
At all.
Agreed.
And it's so weird. Like, you'd think that it's not like FlipSid. If there's any one team that I'm going to point out and say that they don't let that particular thing happen, which is just allowing somebody to walk into the site unchallenged, or not even unchallenged, but undefeated rather. We didn't actually see if he was challenged or not. He may have been, but he won that anyway. Anyway, regardless, if there's any one team that I'm going to look at and say that's not going to happen to them, it's FlipSid.
Agreed.
So I'm kind of a little weirded out that the fact that they allowed Most Wanted to do that. But now Most Wanted in 2-1 round advantage here. It could be taken back by FlipSid at any moment. This is an extremely close matchup. This is more what we thought we were going to see with Ominous and Onslaught. But luckily we're seeing it now. And again, I really do hope that we get to that skyscraper.
So it is round 4, ladies and gentlemen, on the first map at the moment. Most Wanted's playing a 3-2 split defense with 3 defenders topside, where the bombs are beneath them inside of the server and ventilation room.
A lot of times people will often favor having more players on the site and less roaming, but I think in this particular instance it is much better to have those extra roamers upstairs. Try to waste as much time as possible, especially, again, we've talked about this, especially when you have the drop down open for them to easily just walk out whenever they want to.
Now, I think it is worth noting that each and every time on the attack side, Easy Peasy has been IQ, and unfortunately the first round it looks like Pulse won that, so 1 point for Pulse. But I mean, bringing an IQ is something that's not necessarily in the general meta of today at the moment.
They're bringing it to challenge the Pulse, and that makes a lot of sense. Jaeger down here looks like he's going to get picked up by Foxay. That's really lucky on his part. Zilchi, though, looking to set up to, oh, yeah, finish him off after he gets picked up. Coming, Werby.
Ooh, and it looks like Esley gets Pojo, man. Hot and Cold's going to pick up Gurmy, though. A 3-on-3 now after that short engagement inside of the archives. Now Zilchi is tucked around inside of the archives. Nade, though, will get the drop shot onto Zilchi. Actually, no, that was below. A very nice hole there made up by Nade. Now a 3-on-2. You still have 1/3 of the round left. Esley's here playing Bandit. And he's inside of that fountain room. Hot and Cold's going to try to come around from the opposite side of the map here from CCTV room. Right now he's in break room, moving down towards the main hallway.
That was a really interesting rotation from Gurmy Wormy. He got cut off in small office, and he opted to try and go for the main office's window. And Ash shot him through the wall. It was because he got detected, obviously. He was outside too long.
Now my man and Easy Peasy going at it yet again, and it looks like IQ's going to come out on top. The score is 1-1 between those two. Now Hot and Cold is up here hunting hunting Esley. He will pick off that 1 kill. And now last one in line is going to be Nade. He's down inside of the workshop at the moment. A 2-on-1 gets droned out. He's going to have to rotate on over to the mattress. And Easy Peasy wants to move in. But right now he's going to drone it out, I think, a little bit more. As Hot and Cold is going to rush on in. Nade now trying to position himself for the ever-coming take. There's 15 seconds left on the clock. Some pre-fire goes, but the desk is going to take all the bullets. IQ will go down, and it looks like Nade is going to go up against Hot and Cold in a 1-on-1. Now Hot and Cold sees the shoulder, gets the headshot down, and FlipSid is going to even this back out in a 2-2.
I think you could partially attribute that loss for Most Wanted to a lack of a Valkyrie. There's not a lot of information on that side, unfortunately. I mean, the Rook had to play solely off of his own instincts. He had no way to tell where Ash was planting. No mark through the wall from his teammates, no calls at all. So he did manage to put it into 1v1, but in the end, he couldn't tell where Ash was, so she was allowed to just move over to the side. But that round was more, I think, decided when it comes to the roamer game upstairs. FlipSid pushed in without wasting any time at all. They got the wall open, and they simply walked into the site. Or, sorry, not the site, but rather above the site. And they just challenged the roamers. They traded the players, and they came out even. But that's exactly what you need to do in that instance. You have to take control of upstairs. Even if you're at a man-to-man advantage, even if it's 3-3, and you don't put yourself in favor, you have to take above.
I agree. Like you do need to take above because you will not most likely win if you don't do that.
I mean, yeah, you can take from tellers, right? And we've seen teams take from tellers, but usually more often than not, it's unsuccessful. So it's like, yeah, taking above is the standard on ventilation. But now we're going to be seeing FlipSid with their second attempt on a ventilation take, and it looks like they did pick Thermite again. Now, either they're getting antsy about their picks here, or they're bringing Thermite specifically to take this particular bomb site, and which is interesting, given that they're taking it in the same exact way that they're taking Armory. Open up that A wall, push in through the A wall. I mean, they would have done that on their last attack round for Armory if only the Hibana charges had been successful.
Yeah, I feel like with FlipSid, seeing as how they were unsuccessful in actually holding the top side bomb site previously, I feel like they should have just played it the same way they did when the bomb site was downstairs. The push was the exact same. The defense could have been very similar. It's just a matter of just play the same defense if you're able to, if they're going to continue the same push.
Yeah, and you can't hold Armory from downstairs very easily. You just need the information.
Yep. So here we have it. Looks like we're going to see an east side push here as Fox is going to be underneath and Esley's going to move forward into the eastward balcony. Now you've also got my man. He's going to be droning out offices momentarily. But again, this is seeming like it's going to be a east balcony push from archives.
Yeah, so moving into office, and there is a Mira in place to stop that. That's going to be a challenge, a little hurdle for them to overcome. There is a mute there. So if Hibana, or I guess there isn't a Hibana. I'm sorry, it's so distracting. They keep chinging between. I'm really interested in their thought process on that particular pick. But anyway, they are going to be taking from offices, so this is different to every other one of their takes so far. Historically, they've taken CCTV and moved their way in through what would be the Armory A site wall. And this time, offices is pretty much, well, is the opposite of that particular take. So they obviously have different plans in place for different occasions. It's going to be how they handle this Mira and the Mute playing behind it, though, that is going to decide this round, I feel. They did have a sledge push into the hallway to try and get him off of that Mira. There was a Castle who could have barricaded that, but he didn't. So now it looks like they've pretty much established control. Well, actually, they've
It seems
reverted.
really odd. They started going for a push. They spent a minute and a half going for the push, and then they've realized that it's time to come downstairs. They're going to go, like you called out, for the bathroom and teller push, which is not what they were working on for the first minute and a half of this game.
I think what happened is they saw the Mira and they were like, let's just not deal with that. And there it is. Okay, no, they were baiting out FlipSid.
Oh, they did. Gurmy there with the bait, able to get Pojo as he tries to come through the drop hatch.
So they set themselves up to take upstairs. They made it look like they were taking upstairs. And then as soon as they realized that FlipSid was holding upstairs hard and they had the drop down open above tellers, they're like, okay, we'll take from tellers and we'll set somebody up to be ready for that teller drop challenge. And
I don't know if Hot and Cold's going to be spotted here by Esley. No, he's going to get the shot. And there's going to be that MP5K, the Mute. He downs him but doesn't get him finished off. The C4 might be tossed out here if he still has it in hand, but it will not be the case. And it looks as though Fox picks off the shot, the headshot onto Easy Peasy. It's now a 4-on-3 at the moment. Zilchi's going to get Fox in return. Gurmy, though, able to pick up Hot and Cold. We're going to see Nade moving on in to get Zilchi. And with 8 seconds left to go, Mint's coming in for the flank from behind. Will the plant go down? It will not. He's just got to run away. There's 2 seconds to go. And that's going to be the win here for FlipSid. 3-2. A very good mindset there by Mint.
So unfortunately, Most Wanted, they had a fantastic idea with that take. It all worked out for them. Everything was going in their way. They took a little bit too much time with it, maybe. But unfortunately, they didn't leave that guy on the flank. They didn't leave him there long enough. And Mint was able to come up from behind and clutch out the round in the most hilarious way.
Yeah, I mean, Gurmy was there. He's the one that killed the Castle, but he just, like you said, he rotated downstairs when it was said to be all clear.
He was getting all caught up in his team's take. He's like, oh, I got to be a part of it. And it just ended up biting him in the butt. I
mean, that was, to me, that was the epitome of keeping your cool in a very tight situation with Mint.
And I think I'm sorry, I'm to cut you off.
Continue. No, you're fine. No, that's exactly what I was just gonna say.
I feel like that what we saw from Most Wanted, where he got off that flank, it comes down to a lack of experience, a lack of knowledge, a lack of just being experience. That's pretty much the gist of it. He got off that flank. He knew he had to hold it because his team designated to him that is what he was going to do. But he didn't know he had to continue holding it for the entire take. He didn't trust his team to simply get the job done without him, and they totally could have.
I think a portion of it might have also been down to a lack of information. If you would have been able to drone out the entire site and say there's only 2, but there's 3 guys left, that's when you need to start thinking, okay, there is one person off site. We need to find him.
No, you're absolutely right about that. I agree. There were a couple mistakes made on Most Wanted's part, but overall, that take did go entirely in their favor, and I especially like the way that they psyched out FlipSid and baited them baited Castle into pushing onto tellers. That was a really good play, a really good attack on that particular round, but in the end, they spent too much time on it. Mint came up from behind and clutched out. But anyway, this IQ still making use. I feel like FlipSid is making very good use of IQ.
I agree. And I think it's not just for the pulse. As we see, each and every time, almost every single cam has been thrown outside.
Yeah.
So knowing that that's going to happen, this just makes finding those cams that much more quicker, that much more easy.
Yeah, and we are seeing a Glaz also from FlipSid on Hot and Cold. And I feel like one of the reasons IQ doesn't get picked is not necessarily because she's a bad operator, not necessarily because she doesn't bring stuff to the team. It's because there are so many other quote-unquote better options, So the team will often rather bring...
Ooh, Hot and Cold's going to get that glass shot onto Gurmy. I'm trying to think of where was Gurmy in that situation?
I looked kind of like he was playing in CCTV all the way in the corner near, where Zilchi is right now.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I only saw it for a second.
Yeah, we're missing where he was, but nonetheless, though, we are going to have FlipSid taking over the CCTV room. This is going to be one of those more quote-unquote standard pushes from the west balcony into the A site.
This is kind of older. It's the most common take. Since the beginning of this map. This has been the take.
Ooh, and right there, Glass is going to get another kill onto Nade, who just didn't know what to do. He heard the Glass coming, saw the smoke, but just couldn't do much about it. Now Fox is going to try to wallbang the Glass here. That's going to be hot and cold going down, but Zilchi's able to pick up one kill, though. Looks like my man will go down in the count as well. Esley gets injured and then finally finished off by the pistol kill from Zilchi. Fox is the last man alive here in a 4-on-1. Looks like he's going to go for it. He gets the headshot onto Zilchi, moves on forward, gets a wall bang onto Pojo, man, turning it into a 2-on-1 now, but Diffuser has been planted. Easy Peasy's going to be on the other side of the wall here. He is covered at the moment, waiting for some information to be given out. Fox just gave that information to him. Easy sitting still. He's waiting for the barbed wire. C4 gets thrown out. He baits him with it. He turns on over, but Easy Peasy plays ring around the rosy and gets the knife kill on a Fox.
That was an excellent try from Fox A. That beautiful snap through the wall. That easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Is that the silencer?
Yeah, that is a silencer on IQ's gun. But easy peasy lemon squeezy, just ready for him to come up for the bomb. And unfortunately, he did not know that he was playing so close. And it ended up not being a clutch for Fox A. But a valiant effort.
That was intense. That wall bang right there. I mean,
yeah.
To me, you got the one kill. You know that there's got to be someone there. It was instinct to make that kill, but it was time and time again knowing that map to know that that's where he was going to be.
Right. And now we're at match point for FlipSid. Now I just want to touch on real quick. I feel like what's causing Most Wanted to lose a lot of these rounds is just a lack of, again, a lack of just experience. And I feel like what they've been showing us is fantastic. Their team clearly has a lot of skill. They have a lot of potential. I mean,
if you look at the scoreboard here, Most Wanted's not doing poorly. They're
absolutely.
They have more kills than FlipSid.
Barely losing these rounds. Barely. It's so very close. They have a lot of skill. They have a lot of potential. They just are missing little things here and there, little pieces of experience, things that they're not used to. And I feel like if they just going into the future of this pro league, I feel like maybe even if they lose this map, they can go into the next map and take what they learned playing against FlipSid here, and really turn it FlipSid on their heads and bring back that win and bring it to Skyscraper. I feel like they've really got a lot of potential. It's just That's it.
I mean, going back to what you were saying about some inexperience or some perception of inexperience for Most Wanted, I think that kind of goes to show that within the Pro League community, you see a lot of Pro League teams scrimming each other, but not necessarily scrimming out of their world.
Yeah, a lot of the meta stays contained because of that, and it is a little bit difficult sometimes for new up-and-coming teams to get into the Pro League, and that would be why. The reason that that's the case, I can tell you, is because when a team scrims another team, they want to learn something. Yeah. They don't want to just teach the other team how to play the game. So it is to the detriment of a team like CTM, a team like Era, a team like FlipSid. It's to the detriment of those teams to scrim against just some random team.
Until you know that they have potential to be up there. Yep.
Not even potential, but till they can show that they can beat you. Yep. And there's Fox A with a nice pick onto Zilchi. Unfortunately, Zilchi just wasn't watching that locker window. It's kind of understandable why not. Not many people repel on there, but they do have that Blackbeard, which is perfect for that. Now,
what they need to be careful of, though, is underneath. I don't think there's anyone down there except Mint. But Mint is not in a location for it yet. He's going to down each other. Looks like Gurmy and Mint will both go down. Easy Peasy's going to pick up that kill on my man as the plant tries to go. Looks like Esley is going to have to go back to full shield and will be killed off by Nade as he aggressively pushes outside. But with that, Esley is down to just a minuscule amount of health. But he was able to recover the diffuser. He's going to back up, drop it, have someone else move on forward and get the kill, or go for the plant. But Pojo hops on top of the desk and gets Fox down from the window. Now, Easy Peasy still right behind the half wall. He's going to move up forward. He hears the Montane and just cannot land the shot. Mint, however, will finish off Gurmy. And Mint is still down there holding on for dear life. He's injured. It looks as though Pojo, man, he's going to get one kill and a nade. Last one alive is going to go for Esley and gets a double kill. This is going to be FlipSid taking map number 1, 5-2 on Border.
What a clutch from Pojo, and GG. Or I guess good half, if that's the way you want to look at it, coming out in the chat from both these teams. Good third, yeah. in a sense, if you want to look at it that way. But well played to FlipSid. That was a really close round. I feel like it was going in Most Wanted's favor, but in the end, it was just really well played from Pojo, man, to get that 3K and really just kind of pick apart the Most Wanted attack.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, so what we saw there was FlipSid. They played, in my eyes, to what I was expecting them to play. They played different strats. I mean, I've not seen that much utility held on the top side of a ventilation and server hold. And to me, seeing that means they put a lot of effort, a lot of time understanding how people majority of the time try to take that bomb site.
I think we were seeing something similar with the other two teams that the Ominous and Onslaught earlier. It's something they invested a lot of utility upstairs. They invested a lot of players upstairs, but maybe not as much as FlipSid. And you're right, it does come. There's the double kill from a man. That was his premier, frag, I suppose. And there's another round from a man that he managed to win for his team. And I feel like another thing, if we were to touch on this real quick, those two clutches from a man, I think were the 2 rounds that they won overall, and it came down to him. And I feel like FlipSid, the rounds that they were winning came down to clutches from Pojo Man like this. They actually lost that round.
They did. Very unfortunate, but you had Mint with the clutch at the end.
Right.
You also have Pojo. I think with FlipSid, they have the spread of talent.
Yes.
That you can have any one of their members left alive and still have a chance to win.
Yeah, and I feel like on Most Wanted, you have a lot of players who have who have the skill. It just seemed like there were other players who, in certain instances, weren't contributing as much as they could have. For example, here, unfortunately, Nade got pushed in by a Glaz. Now I understand there are the smokes, but you have to.
Here is the wall bang right up to Pojo, strafes across and boink. He'll get him down. That's the double kill for Fox, but unfortunately,
Fox knows.
He knows. He just knows.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of the Most Wanted players, unfortunately, they weren't on their game today. I would like to see, obviously, in the next, or I said today, this map. I would like to see in the next map, which is not their pick, actually. It is FlipSid's pick, and we're going to be going Chalet. I'd like to see them, show up and try to get those, because FlipSid just clutched out so many rounds. If we can get those counter clutches from Most Wanted, those players to step up and be like, we're winning this round, it's happening.
Yeah.
Then I think we'll see a lot more wins on the board for them.
I think I totally agree with you there.
That's what Pojo Man did just now, like on the last round. He just stepped up and said, hey, we're winning this round. It's happening.
Yeah.
You can't stop it.
It comes down to, a lot of it comes down to confidence. A lot of it just comes down to situational awareness. It's what kind of state are you mentally in this game?
Right, and then we are going to be getting straight into the match. We're going right into Chalet, ladies and gentlemen, and right off the bat, we are going to be having, you can't see it yet, but I'll spoil it. Not yet. I mean, I guess there's a Montaigne on FlipSid here. Now, looking at this setup, it's something similar. I'm guessing they're going to be, well, they are going to be attacking Kitchen. I'm guessing what FlipSid's going for here is something similar to what we were seeing with Sisu. Now, first of all, we saw a lot from Sisu. So it could be a great many things here on this Chalet. But what I am anticipating is immediately a Montaigne push for the roamers in library, force them down into somebody waiting in trench. That's the attack I'm anticipating from FlipSid here. But maybe they have their own little spin on this. Maybe they have their own way to handle trophy defense for the first round. But we'll find out in a second. So it is going to be Most Wanted on defense. It's going to be FlipSid Tactics on attack. This is the second map of this particular match, and it is Chalet. Now, this is FlipSid's pick, and it is, in my opinion, favoring them, given the fact that it is the older map, and FlipSid is the older team.
Yeah, and for me, I'm thinking their choice of operators, other than Hibana, seem to fit that ideology. Now, Hibana, she is new, but she plays a similar role to Thermite.
Right.
And in this case, on this map in particular, on this bomb site in particular, it is safer to go with the Hibana for that distance charge of that drop hatch.
Absolutely. And they do have the fuse, which is something that we have been seeing very commonly on Chalet. It is pretty much almost, I just think it's like an 80% pick on Chalet attacks. It's he brings a lot on this particular bomb site, and then even if the other team decides to try and throw you off, they go downstairs first. He still brings those fuse charges, and the entire pretty much the entire downstairs site is destructible. We will have no players from the Most Wanted lineup playing in Master or Office, so it's going to be a free take from FlipSid. They're going to be handling this in a different way to Sisu. They're just going to push straight on into Master, push their way down in, I'm supposingly just, he's going to hold the flank for...
You had called it here. He's trying to push in, make sure that library is all clear.
But he took it from the other angle, so it's slightly different, I guess. And there's nobody waiting for the roamers to come back. It looks like most of Most Wanted is playing on the site.
Oh, it's going to drop right on top of Esley, but with that 3-speed, will dodge out of there just in time.
There's only one player, I think, on the Most Wanted lineup who is roaming. That is the Valkyrie. He's in the wine cellar basement right now, and that is the hardest anchor I've ever seen moving into like season 3 in this season now. on this particular bomb site. Most teams will opt for 2 roamers on this particular.
Ooh, Fox is actually going to try to challenge this against Zilchi, and after taking a bullet or two, he's going to send it to move on out of there.
And now they don't have any roamers. They might be able to drop through the dining hatch, but they don't have any hard roamers right now.
Either got to drop through the dining hatch or possibly the trophy hatch, which
Right.
it looks like Valkyrie might be trying to do yet again.
Yeah, it is
Yep,
open.
she did. There you go. So Fox goes back for round number 2. Hot and Cold has actually made his way into the dining hall. I want to say he's going to push in here into dining and kitchen momentarily. They've cleared out dining. And Zilchi trying to hold down the fort inside a kitchen. Now right behind the reinforced wall, Gurmy's sitting. This is a reinforcement we don't see too often, but I think it plays very well to the playstyle right at the moment. Zilchi's going to drop pre-fire right in towards the trophy room, and he's giving away his position. Now the C4 from Fox, though, will get rid of Sledger. That is going to be Mint going down. Gas grenade is going to force Zilchi to back on out. Now Diffuser's in the hands of Pojo, man. Valkyrie's coming up for the flank into Fireplace. You still have 3 members of Most Wanted inside a trophy. Fox coming up now the back stairs, going all the way to the top. He's looking for Pojo, but Pojo drops just in time. And now Fox is going to be spotted out there by the top border, or the top balcony. Hot and Cold will get taken out by the gas grenade. Gurmy throwing the nice nade. Zilchi will also get taken out by Nade. This defense push is falling apart very quickly. Nade's going to pick up another kill on Pojo, man. Last one alive is going to be easy peasy out on the balcony. He drops on inside. Looks like he downed Fox. And he's going to rush on in there, and it will not go in his favor. Gurmy Wormy getting another kill here.
So that was a perfect round for Most Wanted. They did not lose a single player, it looked like. And the way that they played that was it was actually pretty well thought out. They laid down a trap for FlipSid. They feigned ignorance, and they allowed FlipSid to push all the way into the site, just all the way in. And then they had their roamers come out to make FlipSid think there weren't any roamers down in the basement, and then they just went back straight back down.
I mean, for
so they
Most
can come up
Wanted,
from behind.
for Most Wanted, what I'm starting to see from these guys with their play from border, their little rotational trick play, as well as this, I'm seeing these guys as the little tricksters. I want to call them the tricksters.
They definitely read the other team and they play off what they know FlipSid is going to do, or what any team would do in that situation, and it's kind of working for them. I mean, obviously they didn't win border, but the rounds that they did win were really kind of impressive. Even the rounds that they didn't win.
The rounds they lost were very impressive too.
Every single round they've played so far, Most Wanted has put up a fantastic fight. And every single, they have these fantastic ideas, which again, is some stuff we haven't seen in Pro League before. And I think this particular season has been one of the most revolutionary seasons for Pro League as a whole.
Agreed.
Lots of teams bringing things that just are brand new. And Most Wanted, while they are the new team, they're kind of one of those teams that are at the forefront. And I feel like if they could just buckle down and just focus on, honestly, I feel like even if they win this, they really do need the experience. It just comes down to experience. But if they buckle down, they could totally win this map and bring it to Skyscraper. Looks like they seem to understand Chalet for sure.
I think they do, and I think we're going to see a very close matchup here between these two teams on this map. You can see that they're droning out, looks like starting out in the library. Want to make sure that top floor is all clear, but Pojo, as we're watching right now, is upstairs. So they will have to clear it out if they want to take control of that top floor. Now, one of the things we saw from Pojo was he actually threw out 2 Valk camps. Typically, when you see a Valkyrie get spotted outside, you're like, okay, 1 Valk camp's thrown out. But in this case, they're expecting that. So they're going to toss out 2. If one gets killed off, okay, they still have another that they're going to go for.
Yeah, and usually teams will not get that second one. Pojo, man, with a fantastic pick straight onto my man. That's a huge player off the board, especially on a basement attack. There's no Thermite, there's no Hibana now. And honestly, that might spell the doom of Most Wanted on this take. There are only 3 ways into the site now. 3. There's the back hall, there's the stairway, and there is the wine cellar door. There is no other way for Most Wanted to get into the site unless FlipSid neglected to reinforce one of the walls.
Agreed. And so what we're going to see here, looks like Zilchi actually dropped in through the hatch. He's playing underneath at the moment. Pojo Man's going to give away his position a little bit, but he's actually going to back on out, try to drop on down and go into the basement, but Gurmy is there to catch him. Now Mint is right there. He's actually going to get the dead body as he falls on inside. Easy peasy with a very nice kill inside a wine cellar. Now what we're seeing here is a collapse back onto site. Pojo, like we said, was killed off, but they've managed to take out another man on the attacking squad. So 3-on-4 is how it's going to lay on out with a minute 30 left to go. Or sorry, a minute 15. Esley working his way here into the wine cellar. Now, they know he's here. Zilchi's like, okay, Montaigne's here, but he's not going to go for the shot just yet. Wallbangs will happen if he tries to go half shield. Gas grenade will force him back out. That's a good push. Now, Nade is here. He's going to throw out one nade, try to get easy peasy. That's actually going to down him. And will Nade see his toes? He's actually going to see him get the shot down. A very good collapsing kill onto Nade, or onto Easy Peasy. Second gas grenade gets tossed down. Esley, now he will almost be killed off if the last gas grenade is anywhere close to him. Zilchi able to use that vector to get rid of Nade now. A 2-on-3 at the moment. But again, Esley has just 10 health left. One gas grenade will down him and finish him off. And you still have Fox, who's trying to play above, but he cannot get the angles he needs to onto Zilchi or anyone else below him. 20 seconds to go. Fox is going to drop on inside. Looks like he's going to get the one onto Zilchi. 15 seconds, goes for a wallbang, but cannot get it. Now his teammate has been injured. He's the last man alive in a 1-on-2. He's going to spot pause, but will not get it. Hot and Cold gets that shot down. Mint will get Fox. And that's going to be the round going to FlipSid. 1-1 at the moment.
Some fantastic game from Fox-A throughout this match. Throughout all these, or from all these players, to be honest. But yeah, that round was, honestly, that round was over as soon as Hibana got picked off. You don't have any way to get into the basement through any of the walls. You've only got 3 ways at all to enter. And they did open up the 4th way because FlipSid did neglect to reinforce the kitchen drop down. However, that's not really much of an extra avenue to access the site, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can attribute it to FlipSid going into basement first. That might have thrown Most Wanted off a little bit because maybe they want to bring a thermite on that basement attack. A lot of teams, what they'll do is they'll bring a thermite and a Hibana.
Get all 3 hatches, and
you get all you get all the hatches, or you can get the snowmobile garage and the wall in wine cellar. Or you can get you can get the snowmobile garage, 1 hatch, the wine and wall, the hall or the wall in wine cellar. Why is that so difficult? And also the wine cellar closet. But yeah, again, unfortunately, they did not. I guess they weren't expecting a basement defense first, and yeah, they lost their only breach.
I was just about to mention this. We see one of the walls inside of the wine closet where Nade is right now. He's the one that is, there's one wall that's left unreinforced. And a lot of the times if a team leaves that unreinforced, they'll actually blow it open and use it as a kind of navigational route to go back into the cubby, come back around when there's a final push going.
Well, the idea behind that wall is exactly that, what you were just saying. But also, if you have it open, it's really easy to hold it hard with like a shotgun, for example. It's difficult for any attacker to win that engagement with a shotgun at that range. Even if you flashbang them, like it's all he has to do is prone behind with his 1 reinforced wall and wait for you to push him.
Yep.
He doesn't have to expose himself at all. It's a hard angle, and again, like very difficult for somebody or for an attacking team to get into. And it looks like they're going to do exactly that. Gummy Wormy will be playing that angle with his shotgun, and he's going to have a lot of versatility there, like you were talking about, to stop any pushes into wine.
Now what we do see here are Fox and Nade both roaming around. Looks like Nade is going to be inside of the fireplace, if not bar. And Fox is, I think, still upstairs all the way. But we are going to see a push from FlipSid moving in from Big Garage in towards the back of Wine Cellar.
I think one thing that's going to work against them opening up the hallway, or sorry, the closet preemptively is Mint on that Montaigne. Now, he is pretty much the hard counter to that strat.
Ooh, and unfortunately, Easy Peasy will drop from the game, but Zilchi and Mint will pick up the kills and try to even make it back in their favor, as Gurmy Wormy will get killed off by the revolver. Zilchi gets another kill here onto Esley, and even with Easy Peasy dropping, it's a 4-on-2. Blackbeard's been injured. He will get picked back up, though. So he just moves on over. And there's Mint making sure that no one's going to go through the cross, and that allows Zilchi to get picked back up. So 4-on-2. Still half the round left to go. Zilchi moves on forward, but my man is there for the kill with the MP7. Right behind the desk, and now you can hear the wall bangs happening from Hot and Cold. He's moving on forward, and right now, I got to get in the mindset here of what is going through the last defender here, Nade. He sees the Montaigne approaching him, and that is just going to be the end of him.
So again, Mint's Montaigne was definitely a hard counter to that particular defensive that particular defensive hold. But we will be having a rehost, looks like. Apparently, I'm guessing Easy Peasy cannot reconnect, so that's no big deal.
Yep. So with that, I mean, we are going to basically see the continuation of this game. At the moment, it's 2-1, and FlipSid has won 2 of those 3 rounds. I feel like like I said, I don't think this is going to be a blowout by either team, but I am expecting FlipSid to kind of put their front foot forward and say, this is our map. We've learned this the best, but
I mean, Most Wanted, they put up such a good fight on border. The score was so deceptive. They had even kills with FlipSid. They just could not clutch out. Just this round there, this round here, Talon with a fantastic, or no, that was, yeah, no, it was Talon, right? Talon with a fantastic 4K clutch on Most Wanted. I mean, like, there's all these different little things that have been, or it was Talon, I think that was on a different match, but whatever. There's all these little things that have been going in FlipSid's favor. They've been winning these rounds by such small margins and such little mistakes on Most Wanted's part, like leaving the flank a little too early, allowing Mint to come up from behind and stop a plant with a 4-man advantage at the last couple seconds. Like,
I mean, I guarantee you that after tonight, Most Wanted is going to sit down. They're going to watch the VOD of this replay. They're going to go through it all and say, yes, that's where we screwed up, or that's where we could have improved. That was an opportunity we missed.
And if they do that, they're going to come back as a team that is to be feared. Like, if they can make it, if they lose this, and I don't know that they will necessarily, the score is still close enough that they can bring it back to the third round.
Oh, totally.
It is Chalet, so it favors FlipSid. But even if they lose this match, they go to the loser bracket, and if they can look back on their mistakes and then reflect on them, they can win that loser bracket match and then bring themselves back into it. It's entirely possible to be able to bounce back in this pro league. And regardless, even if they get knocked out, I just have to say, as a new team, our relatively new team, they've been putting up a fantastic showing, really, truly.
I totally agree. And one of the things that I kind of see happening between these two teams, I remember, I'm thinking back to my competitive days back in Season 1 and Season 2, and I'm thinking that when we first had when we wanted to scrim teams, we'd always try to scrim a team that was better than us. We would scrim FlipSid. We'd scrim Gotham Gaming.
As most teams do.
And what we were looking for, we knew that we had solid strats, but we knew that they would expose the tiniest weaknesses, the tiniest flaws. And that seems to be what's happening here. We've got two very good teams going head-to-head, but we've got FlipSid that is just identifying those flaws. And to me, that is something that should not be looked down upon. It should be something that is gained upon, and I think we're going to see Most Wanted doing that.
You're trying to learn a new language,
Agreed.
and you mess up here and there. It's going to happen, but that's how you learn. Failure is the mother to success. So hopefully, Most Wanted will be able to reflect on this particular matchup and make those changes that are necessary. We will be getting straight into the match now, guys. Back on to Chalet, Most Wanted versus FlipSid. It is in the favor of FlipSid right now. I think it's 2-1.
Yes, 2-1. So this is round number 4 at the moment we're getting ourselves into. FlipSid won the first map on border 5-2, and now they're in the lead by 1 point, but it's still Most Wanted's game.
Such a deceptive 5-2, though.
Definitely.
So, I mean, it was practically in overtime. It wasn't, but it was practically in overtime. It felt like one. But anyway, here we go. Most Wanted will be bringing them Montaigne. So Montaigne, a pretty much static pick for both of these teams on this particular map. As we can see, he is being carved out in this meta as a map-based pick. He is very useful on Chalet, and we have seen him be put to use extremely well. That last round, I could almost solely attribute to Mint on his Montaigne because so the hole in the closet in Wine Cellar, yes, it works, but not if they've got a Montaigne. Like Montaigne just has to walk up to it, and you die. So, yeah, it would have been better to have that reinforced. But yeah, so. Now we're going to be having these teams. Where were they going to be fending? Let's see. I'm guessing it's going to be Trophy. So, yeah, it will be Trophy from FlipSid. They did win that downstairs defense, I believe.
Yep.
And, oh, no, actually, sorry. They didn't win the downstairs defense. They had. We know they did. That's right.
They did win downstairs.
Defended it first.
Yeah, FlipSid was only unsuccessful on their first push onto the kitchen and Trophy during the first round of defense or attack.
It was really well played by Most Wanted on that one round. They did win, but they set up that trap and just kind of like sandwiched FlipSid. But now they are going to FlipSid looks like they're going to be investing some utility upstairs, guessing some players as well to try and at least stall out the attacking Most Wanted lineup and try to waste as much time upstairs as they can. There is no fuse from Most Wanted, which is something that we have been seeing quite a lot of, but not right this second. They are instead bringing a buck to try and open the floor and simply shoot down instead. Now, what fuse is better used, in my opinion, for instead of killing people is just forcing them out of positions.
Yep. I mean, we've talked about this previously, and I think a lot of people talk about this a lot, is that it seems like fuse, in some cases, is underutilized. And I think that's one of the things that is still left to be developed by many teams with using fuse on this map, but especially on any map that you pick a fuse.
You know what I love about Rainbow Six?
It's always changing?
It's always changing, and there's so much left to be developed, just as you said. There are so many different aspects and factors that are completely undiscovered, and especially in this season of Pro League, this just, we're on like, what is this day 3 right now? This is the third day.
Third day, but only play day 2.
Yeah, third day of EU and NA put together, and we are so far in this season seen tons of revolutionary strategies and just thought processes from various different teams, and it is really inspiring to see. Like, it's ever changing, and this is year 2.
Agreed.
Like, the second year. Like, it's... Anyway, I digress. Moving into this round, there's been no picks for either teams. They have forced out the roamers from upstairs. Montaigne is going down into the basement to try and force out those lower guys, push them into his teammates. Go ahead.
I find it odd that he's pushing himself down there. Like, he's all by himself.
Right. No, I agree. It is a little weird. Foxay with a nice pick.
Oh, Zilchi's actually rushing out here, trying to go a one-on-one. He must have just been out of his mind thinking he could get Ash
that
out
is
here.
overconfidence right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Right there. I mean, what? We missed that. It just hopped onto the screen. I literally thought it was Thatcher coming out to help Fox.
It was Jaeger and Mute decided to get super aggressive on the west lobby towards Foxay for some reason. That makes no sense at all. Completely unnecessary. A little bit of a misstep by FlipSid, and they have to understand that they're not necessarily like up 4-1 right now. This is 2-1. Nice pick from Nade. Most Wanted could easily bring this to 2-2 again and even out the rounds.
Ooh, and that was a good pick by Fox. It looks like Easy Peasy was being collapsed by 3 from above, from Montaigne, and from the side of Kitchen. And there will be the final kill. My man picking up Mint.
First, I just want to say thank you, my man, for being called my man. That is so satisfying.
I'll tell you what, when I first, when I first met my man, I first had him in my league and stuff, and we were playing, I used to always call him Maman.
Oh,
and
no.
Yeah, we all know how much I like to screw up names. And
it's okay, we forgive
my
you.
chat was trying to correct me in the most critical manner possible. But Maman is what I originally started calling him. And so every time I see it, I got to think to myself, no, that is my man.
Yeah. It is a satisfying name to use. But yeah, and he's been doing pretty well for his team here. Definitely helping Most Wanted bring themselves into this match. Now, I want to analyze that last round. I want to be like, oh yeah, blah, 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 this happened. No, 2 people ran outside West Lobby, died, and didn't have anything to show for it, and the round was over. Congratulations. They pushed out the roamers, but there weren't really there weren't any roamers from FlipSid. They weren't playing upstairs. Montaigne did push that out, but it didn't really matter in the end. And you're right, that was a little weird for Most Wanted. They were pushing their Montaigne solely alone. Now that means that they have a lot of faith in their Montaigne player to get the job done. Now I want to talk about for a second. We have from FlipSid a Montaigne, right? But it is not Mint, which is what we did see in the past. Okay, from FlipSid, Mint has been playing it typically, but it is in fact hot and cold this time, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, so one of the things that I know about FlipSid is they have a variety of skills on a variety of operators. And we call Easy Peasy the revolver god, but all of these guys probably spend 4 or 5 games a day just playing with a revolver. So they're all viable on a lot of different operators, and we can see that with the changing of here of Montaigne.
Right. Surprised it's not Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy playing Montaigne. He's got that revolver. It's his favorite weapon.
It is. But we are going to see Hot and Cold push on in from Master Bedroom. Fox is stationed downstairs, waiting for someone to drop on in. That looks like it might be Mint. Might be trying to push on down. He's spotting the door, making sure it's all closed. But there's going to be the first fuse charge. And again, this is it's
just the wrong way to use them, man.
We feel like it could be more developed.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's what you're doing with those fuse charges. You're telling the defenders to reposition temporarily. Oh.
Ooh, he's able to bait out some shots by Fox, calling it on down there, which is actually a good piece of information.
Yeah. But yeah, you're forcing the defenders to reposition momentarily, but only momentarily, and you're more than likely, if you get a kill, you are extremely lucky. Most of these players know how to dodge a fuse. So it is really, in my opinion, a misuse of a fuse charge to simply put it on the floor and trigger it above where you know the enemies to be. It is better to, for example, put it above maybe dining table and trigger them as you're pushing into dining table, so that once the last bomb goes off, you then have control. You can push all the way into dining table and have full control.
Agreed. And so with that, we did. Hot and Cold was pushing Montaigne, or was pushing his Montaigne down here against Fox, but decided to retreat, and now they're going forward into the dining hall.
This is worrisome because what happened last time on this attack is they took full control of the kitchen. They had everything in their favor, and then just roamers came up from behind and ended up killing them.
And now an attacker's been pushed outside. It looks as though that is going to be the end. Actually, no, it's not the end of Nate. He got revived and picked back up. Fox still drastically injured here. Gas Grenade is going to force Hot and Cold to back on out by doing about 20 damage to him. Now you again have 3 people still inside of this trophy room, and you have 1 roamer. And it looks like Fox was just taken out. But actually, no, we've got another roamer. My man is here trying to come around from the side. It looks like that will not go successfully. He did. He got the kill onto Zilchi. Eslay's going to get Pojo Man. Mint finally takes down one of his own. A 3-on-3 at the moment, 30 seconds. And the push is coming forward. Now, my man is back on site. Or, sorry, not on site, but he is right inside of the main lobby, waiting for Hot and Cold to push on forward. Your Montaigne has the diffuser, which is a little concerning, but it does look like that's going to be the case. Mint able to get the shot on the Gurmy as diffuser goes down. Eslay will also fall, and the last one's going to be my man outside of the kitchen hallway in the main lobby. He's able to pick off Mint, though. That's not going to be a 3K for him.
He's not going to be able to win this with a Montaigne on the field here. He would have to be extremely lucky.
Agreed, and easy peasy trying to go for the crossfire and gets it down. So a very good collapse there by FlipSid.
Yeah, and I was a little disconcerted when they decided to ignore their flank, but unfortunately, Most Wanted didn't capitalize on that. They had the Thatcher ready to stop the flank in the lobby, but they could have easily still come up from backstairs and challenged that. They didn't. Instead, they opted to simply take West Lobby as their, their flank, I suppose. But that was still technically right in front of Mint, who was ready there to stop them from coming up. And Mint did get a 3K in that exact situation, just looking down the hallway, looking through the kitchen, just waiting for the defenders to peek.
And I think what happened with FlipSid is they realized that the roam game was strong on Most Wanted. And they realized they didn't have the amount of time or the luxury to chase after them. So when you're in that scenario, you need to change up your strat, push on into the site, and you need to cover your flank. And that looks like what they did, because I think that was the Thatcher came in at the very last moment.
He was playing, I believe, on balcony in lobby, so he was ready to stop anyone from pushing up lobby stairs or coming from bar. But again, the defenders could have challenged that from backstairs and made their way above and tried to, there's various things. There's so many different things they could have done, but when it really comes down to it, I feel like the roam game for Most Wanted was just not as strong as it was last time. And like you said, FlipSid, they were ready for it.
Yeah, they realized it was the FlipSid realized the roaming game was too strong to take head on, but not enough to bait out. They were able to get that kill.
Definitely. And there's what looks like, it's going to be the double cams from Pojo Man. So this is pretty similar to what we've seen in the past. If that cam does not get shot, I would be surprised. But we are going to be seeing from Most Wanted, not so much a front take, but more a top-down looks. Or no. Okay, so they are going to be setting up for a wine take, and that's what's going to be happening here. They do only have a Hibana no thermite, so this is going to be very difficult, especially if their Hibana gets picked off early again, which is what happened last time. Pojo Man got a nice pick into the West lobby as she was just running in without enough drone coverage.
And it looks as though Mint will pick off Gurmy. He's going to rush on outside and gets the kill, exposing himself, but it was well worth it as he takes no damage. He's able to get back onto site.
And that's Thatcher off the board. If there is a bandit, there is no bandit, no mute, so it doesn't really matter that Thatcher's off the board, but that is still a significant player.
Yeah, now Fox did push down the kitchen stairs and did not get a kill. It looks like my man is going to move forward, though, and try to open up some of the wall here as he is playing Hibana, but they still need to be worried about Pojo. He is the roamer topside. Taking a look here, wall got opened up just a little bit. Gas grenade, I'm sorry, the smoke grenade will get destroyed by the ADS. The gas grenade goes off, and again, I think that's just extra cover for Glaz at the moment. That's not pushing back anybody.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting smoke grenade from, well, smoke.
And now you have my man watching the flank around. He's making sure that that Pojo's not going to be there to take the kill. Fox, though, getting that one shot onto easy peasy, dropping him through the smoke grenade. And a wall bang, another one from Fox. He is just on fire today as he gets Mint. The man's going to get Pojo Man with the flank he was just covering. Zilchi's actually going upstairs to go for another flank, another roam. Hot and Cold is going to be the last man standing on site. And so now Zilchi moving on forward.
He's in a good position to clutch this out if he simply drops at the right time.
He is. It's all about timing now. It's a time game for Zilchi. So Hot and Cold needs to hold back. He's got, I think, 2 gas grenades left. And there, I'm sorry, that is the last gas grenade, and there are still 50 seconds left in this round in this 2-on-4. Now, Nade's going to try to peek around the doorway here. They have not opened up the closet wall, I don't believe. And so they will have to push in through the front door. Fox, though, coming around, and it looks like Zilchi hears the drop. There goes the C4, and they just cannot get the shots. And there it will. Fox finally lands the one that counts. It's all up to Hot and Cold. And the Nade, or sorry, my man, almost able to get the plant down, but Esley says nope and finishes off Hot and Cold before it even gets to it.
Fox A knows. That is one of many wall bangs. Fox A has had spectacular shots from him. Really a fantastic showing from him overall. He has been showing up for his team in a way that is keeping them on, in this match.
So Fox, looking back to last year and seeing Fox develop over time, and like you said, he was previously on the Pro League team. He is way better, but I'm thinking back to his play style then, and I see portions of it carry over to now, in the sense that he was always the roamer. He was always the quick person on the board. He's done that with Valkyrie. He's doing that with Glaz. Instead of doing it with Jaeger, he's now doing it with these 2-2 operators. And I think it's working out for him with the utility he's got, as well as the mindset of the maps that he's taken over.
No, I agree. I think he's I think his operator selection is probably playing in his favor a little bit more. And we used to have players like we used to have Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy. He played Smoke a lot, and it kind of worked for him, but it didn't really. And he's thus, oh, actually, has he played Smoke? No. I think he's been making a change recently, and it's been working out for him as a player. And you have Fox A. I feel like maybe on the teams he was on previously, he was forced into roles that he wasn't comfortable with. And having seen him play in this matchup, he's clearly comfortable with Glaz and Valkyrie. Those are things that he likes to play.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see a player who's been in the scene for a long time get their just due and get to play the roles that they want to play and really shine from it.
Yeah, and so I will say though that round count is back tied 3-3 at the moment.
This is surprising. I expected this to be happening on Border, but I think what's happening here, yes, the map does favor FlipSid, but I think what's happening is Most Wanted have just realized, wait a minute, we could win this.
Yeah.
All of these rounds are so close. We just have to step up our game just that tiny little bit, improve on our tiny little mistakes, and we'll start winning these rounds. And they're doing just that.
And so now it looks like FlipSid, that's going to be Hot and Cold and Zilchi moving on into the master bedroom. But again, we don't have any roamers from Most Wanted up here.
And this is really interesting. No contention from Most Wanted holding upstairs. And a lot of teams, especially in the European meta on Chalet, even in the North American meta, they will try to waste as much time as they possibly can upstairs. Try and bait out utility from the attackers. And neither of these teams have been doing that.
Now, there was a C4 thrown up from Kitchen onto the floor of Master Bedroom. It just barely missed Montaigne. But that's one of those moments where you're like, you need to get out of Master Bedroom as quick as possible.
Yeah, and if that C4 had killed Montaigne, it probably would have been the round in favor of Most Wanted.
Ooh, and my man is going to be injured. He will not have enough time to get out of there, and the cluster charge will go. That's going to be the first fuse cluster charge of the day. Fox, however, is able to manage to get on upside and get Zilchi down for the count. That's taking out the fuse. C4 is going to go exploding and force Easy Peasy to back on out. But Fox will go down, and Easy Peasy escapes with his life from the nade and has 5 health to show for it.
The first big whiff of the day from Fox A. He baited out the, oh, wow.
A little engagement here. Esley, and the hip fire headshot from Hot and Cold. That's the revolver action getting it down onto Esley. Now Hot and Cold is going to push the inside here. He's inside of the kitchen right now. Gas grenade is going to force him to back on up, but it looks like Pojo Man is there with the gun to get rid of Gurmy. Nade, however, is inside of Trophy Room. We're going to see a push down, a drop from Pojo, drop all the way down to the ground. Minton is now looking through the windowsill. He knows that Nade is here. He's just going to toss out one nade. Hopefully there's not going to be an ADS. It's going to go flying in, but his health will sustain. He's going to peek on out, and it's going to be a dual kill from Mint and Nade.
Yeah, a nice trade from Nade and a nice try as well. If he had a little bit more HP, he would have been able to probably get that kill without dying. It was not a headshot from Mint. He was simply low. Now, that was an interesting play from Fox A. He baited out the Thatcher to move, to dodge that C4, and he just barely missed that shot. You have to wonder if Fox A had hit that shot, would they have been able to win that round? But now it is 3-4 in favor of FlipSid. Now, Most Wanted, again, all of these rounds so very close. Just one tiny little mistake there, and FlipSid managed to swing it in their favor.
Yep.
Most Wanted, he just stop making this tiny mistake. Stop, Fox A. Honestly, to me, it looked like Fox A hit that shot. He must have been off by inches.
Yeah, I think it was just a shoulder or a chest shot, and ultimately just didn't get the shot he needed to land it. But like you had said, it is match point and it is series point right now for FlipSid. If they can get this win, if they can hold down the fort downstairs where they did successfully previously, we will see this going into a 2-0.
And I honestly, I'm going to be completely blunt here. I think that it is going to be a 2-0, and just based off the operator selection, we do not see his Thermite again. And I'm really, truly worried about this. It seems like Most Wanted has an aversion to bringing a Thermite to the field. They've done it twice before, but they've done it when they were attacking ventilation on border, which is just like opposite to what you would expect. You'd expect it to be brought to attack armory, not ventilation. And they're not bringing it at all on this particular bomb site. And again, it doesn't really make very much sense. When you're attacking Wine Cellar, it's less of a maybe you bring Thermite, you always bring Hibana. It's more of a you always bring Thermite, you maybe bring Hibana.
I think one of the things that confuses me a little is seeing as how Zilchi has been Mira almost every single time on defenses on this map in particular. I'm curious as to why we're not seeing a Twitch. Because you see these Mira windows in very significant and important places, but you're not seeing the counter to Mira of bringing that Twitch drone.
And you're totally right. It's good that you brought that up. Is one of the things that we see from Twitch, what we've seen from her in the past is, yeah, she got buffed, so she was more useful. She had more drones, but she wasn't really useful for anything. Even like she could
Her biggest thing was taking out ADSs.
ADSs, bandits, and mutes, and that was, oh wow, easy peasy with a nice kill onto Fox A, who was in that hallway. Fox A saw him clearly, just missed the shots. But yeah, no, Twitch wasn't very useful for anything, and sacrificing a Twitch drone to open a Mira window is huge.
Agreed.
That is one of the most important things. Like, I think if you're playing Twitch and there's a Mira on the other team, that should be your entire focus, because like, other than that, you've got cameras, mutes, bandit charges, and ADS devices. And honestly, you can do that all with the Thatcher.
Now, you do have Esley here inside of the main garage. He was peeking around for a Valkyrie cam and will not spot any, as there are none in there, but he will move forward now. Hibana has opened up a head-level hole into the main wall facing Wine Cellar, so that will force a little bit of confusion here by FlipSid. Will they be able to get any kills down? We do see Hot and Cold, though, lurking in, roaming around from bar. He's going to go into Fireplace here momentarily. Now Esley's peeking on through. He spots Mint. Just barely doesn't. He doesn't have the reaction time to it, but Zilchi does see him. He's going to go for the shots through. Some more bullets will hit his head shield. Looks like Hot and Cold, though, gets Gurmy. Esley, though, will pick off Mint from return. And there's going to be actually Diffuser drops up inside of the dining hall. Hot and Cold with a tremendous kill. That could be the conclusion of this round, as only Nade and Esley are left alive. Esley's downstairs as well as Nade. Esley's going to take quite a bit of damage from his butt as he gets shot going up the stairs. Now, Hot and Cold knows that's Diffuser. He's called it out, and you can see he's holding onto the angle. They know the push is going to come.
No.
Nade, he saw the head. He goes for the shot. He misses it. And there goes the kills, and unfortunately for Hot and Cold, he gets too aggressive and unable with his sights. Wasn't able to get Nade down. So it looks like Diffuser might get picked up by Nade. 25 seconds to go.
Not.
Nade's going to get killed off, though. Diffuser's still upstairs. It's all up to Esley. He's got to get the clutch, but he cannot. And the double kill from Zilchi will secure the win. 2-0. FlipSid over Most Wanted.
That's a good game from FlipSid. Again, just the smallest little mistakes being made by Most Wanted. And it honestly feels somewhat like they're not playing cohesively as a team. Like, they have certain players who are stepping up and doing their part, and I feel like there are some guys who are just not showing up as much as they need to.
There does appear to be a little disconnect between some of the players.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's a little bit of that, but it's also a little bit of confusion when things don't go as planned. We saw at the very end there when